So Sweep South was founded 4 years ago in June 2014 by myself and my co-founder. We at the time were trying to find someone to help us with home cleaning and really struggled to get connected in any sort of reasonable time frame to someone who could help us. We had this idea that we'd build a platform that would connect the two sides together very easily using technology, where we would set the rates so people wouldn't have to worry about what pay rates, and we'd make sure that they were at decent rates. And where we'd also make it very quick and easy to book. So you'd be able to, the idea was that you'd be able to find a home cleaner within a few minutes. And I think the recognition from the World Economic Forum was around us being an innovative company in solving problems that are common on the African continent. So a company that is using innovation to try and solve and address unemployment and underemployment, particularly amongst women. Because 100% of our sweep stars are women, 70% of our customers are female. So these are problems that, that are faced by women. So I think one of our biggest learning curves around growth was we made the assumption that once you start growing and when a business grows, everything's taken care of and it's easy from there and all of your troubles are gone. But we actually realized that scaling and growth in itself is a business challenge. And so internally trying to make sure that you are communicating well and infusing your values into a growing team. But then also as our Sweep Star team grew, and 7,000 is a big number, and making sure that all of those individuals also understand the background of the business and what your values are and your vision and what it is that you're trying to achieve becomes increasingly challenging. And so you really have to make use of technology and go back often to the importance of those values and that vision to make sure that you don't lose those things as you grow. So we've had a fantastic relationship with FNB that has touched many facets of the business. I think when I think back to starting the business, and one of the things that really shocked me about the very early stages was how difficult it was to open up a business banking account. Despite the fact that I was qualified, I had a PhD, I'd worked, I had a great work history, had a good credit history, owned a house, but it was really difficult for us to set up a business banking account. And then over and above that, to set up a merchant banking account where people, our customers, would be able to transact online. And we found that FNB was the only bank at the time that really understood the concept of having an online merchant banking account that could facilitate these online payments. And we just found that conversation was very seamless and intuitive with them. And then they've also become an investor subsequently in our business. So they're an investor through one of their funds called the Vumela Fund, which is specifically an impact fund, which ties in very closely to our values at Sweep South and to wanting to create social impact. So I think, there were various challenges starting up the business as a female CEO specifically. And I think specifically in the tech industry, where women are still very underrepresented. So, up front, I would go to meetings with investors, or we would go to startup events, and it was always assumed that I was like the marketing person, or like, I don't know, some sort of, support team member. But no one would ever assume that I was the CEO of the business until I introduced myself as the CEO of the business. So that was quite interesting, and sometimes I'd be standing next to a random male, literally a random person. And someone would say, these are the founders of Sweep South, and the guy would assume that it was the other random guy and not myself. So that was interesting. It's just the assumption all the time that whatever male I'm next to is the brains behind this business. So yeah, you definitely see what people are talking about when they speak about some of the issues with being a female. And I think those things can only really be addressed by having more women in senior positions, and having people just feel more comfortable with women being in senior positions, and having more women investors in the space. I think those are the only things that will really help to reverse some of these very weird situations.